Tropical Storm Dexter is rapidly churning in the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico. This formidable weather system is displaying characteristics that demand our immediate attention. We're closely monitoring its development and potential impact on coastal and inland regions. The storm's projected path has put millions of people on high alert, triggering widespread concern and prompting emergency preparations across several states. Residents are urged to stay informed and heed any warnings issued by local authorities. The time to prepare is now, before conditions deteriorate. As many as 20 million Americans, from densely populated coastal cities to smaller inland communities, could feel the direct and indirect effects of this powerful storm in the coming days. The sheer number of people potentially affected underscores the importance of proactive measures and community resilience. The threat isn't limited to coastal areas. The storm's impact could extend far inland, bringing heavy rainfall, strong winds, and the risk of flooding to communities that may not typically experience such severe weather events. Rivers and streams could quickly overflow their banks, inundating homes and businesses. Dexter is currently gaining strength as it moves over unusually warm Gulf waters. These elevated water temperatures are providing the storm with a readily available source of energy, allowing it to intensify and potentially become even more dangerous. This rapid intensification is a major cause for concern. The combination of the storm's intensity and its slow forward speed is fueling serious concerns about the potential for torrential rain, widespread flooding, and significant property damage. Urban areas are particularly vulnerable, as drainage systems can quickly become overwhelmed. Its slow movement means some areas could be subjected to prolonged periods of intense rainfall, potentially leading to rainfall totals measured in feet, not just inches. This extreme rainfall could result in catastrophic flooding, with water levels rising rapidly and posing a significant threat to life and property. Communities from the Florida Panhandle, all the way to Texas, and even north into the Mississippi River Valley, are bracing for potential impacts. The geographical scope of this storm's threat is extensive, highlighting the need for widespread awareness and preparedness. Therefore, everyone in these areas needs to pay close attention to weather updates and heed the advice of local officials. Staying informed is the first and most crucial step in ensuring your safety and the safety of your loved ones. We rely on advanced forecasting tools, including sophisticated computer models often referred to as spaghetti models, to provide insights into the storm's behavior. These models help us track Dexter's potentially unpredictable path and anticipate its future movements. However, it's important to remember that these are just projections, and the actual path of the storm could deviate. These models are invaluable tools that help emergency managers and the public alike to make critical decisions regarding evacuations, resource allocation, and other essential preparedness measures. Informed decisions can save lives and minimize the impact of the storm. In this video, we'll break down exactly what these spaghetti models are and how they work, providing you with a better understanding of the forecasting process. We'll also delve into the specific threats that Dexter poses to different regions, highlighting the potential for heavy rainfall, flooding, and strong winds. Finally, we'll provide you with practical tips and guidance on how you can stay safe during the storm, including preparing an emergency kit and developing a family communication plan. Knowledge is power, especially when facing a potentially dangerous weather event. So, let's get started and equip ourselves with the information we need to navigate this storm safely. Spaghetti models, a term that might sound more at home in a kitchen than a weather forecast, are actually a vital tool for understanding and predicting the behavior of storms. These models are essentially collections of forecasts, each generated by different computer models, offering a range of possible scenarios. Each of these individual computer models takes the same initial weather data and runs it through its own unique algorithms and calculations. The result? A series of different predictions, each predicting the storm's path, intensity, and potential impact. Each line on the map, often color-coded for clarity, represents a possible track that the storm might take. Think of it as a range of possibilities, not a definitive prediction. These complex calculations are based on a vast amount of data collected by meteorological organizations worldwide. This data includes everything from surface observations to satellite imagery. The USGFS Global Forecast System and Europe's ECMWF, European Center for Medium-Range Weather Forecasts, are two of the most respected and widely used models in the world. They are constantly being refined and improved. But the GFS and ECMWF aren't the only players in the game. There are many other models, each with its own strengths and weaknesses, that contribute to the overall picture. These models rely on massive amounts of data that's constantly being updated and refined to provide the most accurate picture possible. This includes crucial measurements like temperature, atmospheric pressure, wind speed and direction, and a whole host of other atmospheric variables, all of which are fed into complex algorithms to simulate the behavior of the atmosphere. These simulations are incredibly complex, requiring massive computing power. It's important to remember that no single model is perfect. Each has its own biases and limitations. That's why we don't rely on just one. Instead, we look at them together, as a group, to get a sense of the range of possibilities and the potential outcomes. When the lines on a spaghetti plot cluster tightly together, it indicates that the models are in general agreement, and we have higher confidence in the predicted path. Conversely, when the lines are spread far apart, it means the models disagree, and the uncertainty surrounding the storm's future track is high. Looking at the spaghetti models for Dexter, we can see that they show some spread after landfall, indicating some uncertainty about its future direction. This spread means that the exact inland track of the storm is still uncertain, and we need to be prepared for a range of possibilities. Given this uncertainty, it's crucial that everyone in the potential path of the storm stays informed, monitors the latest forecasts, and takes necessary precautions. Ultimately, spaghetti models are a valuable tool that help us visualize the uncertainty inherent in weather forecasting and allow us to prepare for a range of potential outcomes. Understanding how to interpret these models is key to making informed decisions and staying safe during severe weather events. Spaghetti plots may look messy at first glance, a chaotic jumble of lines crisscrossing the screen. It might seem like an overwhelming amount of information, but don't be fooled by the apparent disarray. They're actually packed with valuable information for meteorologists who know how to interpret them. These plots are a visual representation of multiple possible storm tracks, each one generated by a slightly different computer model or a variation of the same model. We look for consensus, the cluster of lines showing the most likely path. The denser the cluster, the higher the confidence in that particular track. This is where the power of ensemble forecasting really shines. This consensus forecast then shapes the official forecast that is disseminated to the public. It's the foundation upon which warnings and advisories are built. Outlier models, those that deviate significantly from the main cluster, though rare, can sometimes catch unexpected shifts in the storm's behavior. They represent possibilities that the more mainstream models might be overlooking. So we investigate them closely, trying to understand why they're predicting a different outcome and whether there's any merit to their projections. With every new model run, which occurs several times a day, we compare changes. Are the lines shifting, indicating a change in the predicted path? Is the overall trend moving east, west, north, or south? These shifts can have significant implications for coastal communities. Is the storm speeding up or slowing down? A faster-moving storm might reach a particular location sooner, while a slower-moving storm could linger longer, increasing rainfall totals. For Dexter, a recent westward shift means more areas are now at risk, and residents need to be aware of the increased potential for impact. Spaghetti models communicate uncertainty far better than a single deterministic forecast line ever could. They acknowledge the inherent limitations in predicting the future behavior of a complex system like a hurricane. The cone of uncertainty on official maps comes directly from these model spreads, encompassing the range of possible tracks indicated by the ensemble of models. Remember, impacts like rain and wind can extend far from the storm center, affecting areas well outside the direct path of the eye. These models help us issue timely, accurate warnings, giving people the information they need to make informed decisions to protect themselves and their families. They're essential for public safety, enabling effective evacuations and other protective measures, and emergency planning, allowing communities to prepare for the potential impacts of a storm and allocate resources effectively. Stay tuned as we track every update, providing you with the latest information to keep you safe. Florida is already feeling Dexter's effects, even with the center offshore. Torrential rain bands have swept from Miami to Tampa, with some areas seeing over 8 inches of rain. Urban flooding has turned streets into rivers, and storm surge has caused coastal flooding and beach erosion. Travel is disrupted. Airports face delays, highways are hazardous, and power outages are increasing. Utility crews are working non-stop, but ongoing rain and wind make repairs difficult. Florida's experience is a warning. You don't need to be at landfall to feel a storm's impact. The outer bands alone can cause major disruptions. Other Gulf states should take note and prepare now. Dexter is targeting the central Gulf Coast, with landfall expected between southeastern Louisiana and the Mississippi coastline. Major cities like New Orleans, Gulfport, and Biloxi are in the crosshairs. After landfall, Dexter will move north, bringing extreme rainfall and flooding to Mississippi, Arkansas, and beyond. The slow-moving storm could dump staggering amounts of rain, raising the risk of flash floods. Some models show a westward shift, putting Baton Rouge and Lafayette at greater risk. An eastward shift could threaten Mobile and the Florida Panhandle. The impacts won't stop at landfall. States as far north as Tennessee and Kentucky could see heavy rain. Saturated ground increases the risk of flooding across a wide area. This storm's effects will be felt for days across the southeast. Dexter's threats go far beyond wind. Storm surge could reach 3 to 5 feet along the Louisiana and Mississippi coasts, flooding roads and homes. Extreme rainfall, 10 to 15 inches with isolated spots over 20, will overwhelm rivers and drainage systems. Flash flooding can happen in minutes. Never drive through flooded roads. Winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour can cause power outages and property damage. Prepare for extended outages and use generators safely. Tornadoes are also possible in Dexter's outer bands, often with little warning. Have a way to receive alerts, like a weather radio or smartphone app. Know your shelter location. An interior room on the lowest floor, away from windows. Take all threats seriously, not just the wind. Stay alert and ready to act. Forecasting Dexter starts with global data. Satellites track its structure, while Hurricane Hunter aircraft fly into the storm to gather real-time measurements. Dropsondes dropped from planes provide a 3D snapshot of the storm's pressure, temperature, and winds. This data feeds into computer models, improving their accuracy. Experts like Levi Cowan analyze these models, explaining the forecast and its uncertainties to the public. Their insights help people understand not just what might happen, but why. The goal: provide early, accurate warnings so people can prepare. Forecasts empower emergency managers to act and families to get ready. It's not just science, it's about saving lives and property. Trust the forecast and use it to make informed decisions. Now is the time to prepare for Dexter. Build a disaster kit with food, water, medications, flashlights, and a battery-powered radio for at least 3 days. Secure your home, bring in loose items, board up windows, and clear gutters. Have a family communication plan and designate an out-of-state contact. Charge your phones and have backup power sources. Digitize important documents for safekeeping. Know your evacuation zone and plan your route in advance. If told to evacuate, do so immediately. Don't wait. Include pets in your plan, as most shelters don't accept them. Preparation now means safety and peace of mind later. As Dexter nears landfall, stay vigilant and informed. Even small changes in the track can mean big differences for your area. Listen to local authorities for the latest updates and evacuation orders. The danger doesn't end after the storm passes. Flooding can persist for days. Preparation is your best defense against uncertainty. Trust your plan and look out for your neighbors.